Aloha, I'm Nui from Hawaii Life Team Nakanishi. If you didn't already know, we've been doing weekly East Hawaii market updates, real estate market updates for our clients and anyone else who wants to join in the conversation or figure out what's going on. We do send out the Zoom call link to everyone who wants it and to our database and everything, but sometimes our video or Zoom calls get to be a little long, so I thought maybe doing the recap was a more efficient way to get up to speed really quickly. So let me first start off by sharing that Ryan Cadota from Cadota Liquors was on our call today. He's been on our call a few times. We love you, Ryan. Thank you. And he shared with us this bottle of Beaujolais Villages. Yeah, Villages. And so this wine is a red, but it's kind of like a lighter red, and you should drink it slightly chilled, he said. So it makes it good for early afternoon, or sorry, late afternoon, he said, but who's counting the hours? And like cheese platters and lunches and stuff. Goes well with fish and ahi poke. So it's really, you can drink it with a lot of stuff. And who says you can't just drink it by itself? Anyway, the good thing about Cadota Liquors is that they offer delivery from express waiters. Woohoo! I've been really stressing out about having to go to the grocery store just to pick up wine. And you can also do curbside pickup. I did it the other day. It was awesome. So you just have to call ahead and make sure. Of course, you have to call ahead because how would they know? But just call ahead, get it figured out. You can get your liquor really easily. All right. Second, we had Nikki Hubbard from VIP Mortgage. She was on the call, and we love you, Nikki. We did talk about the rates last week. They were historically low. She locked somebody under 3%, which is crazy. But the rates are up a little bit more this week. They're not high by any means. They're still really good. So you might want to take advantage of that if you are in the market. And in the previous weeks, they were just so crazy volatile. So from hour to hour, there'd be changes in rates. She says that that's kind of stopped a bit. They are kind of a little more steady. And we talked about government loans, and I think I mentioned this in the first recap that I did. They did increase the credit score for FHA, and she says it's up to 680 now from 585, which is a really big jump. But she says that she can sometimes get it done at a 620, but the credit score requirement is definitely higher because it's just a more risky time right now. So says there's been an uptick in mortgage applications, and I've been reading a lot about that and hearing a lot about that from the different lenders that we work with. So that's promising. She also mentioned that some buyers are calling and expecting these huge discounts, which are not really available, and prices on homes, we're not seeing them go down either because the inventory is pretty low. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Like the other lenders, they are also prioritizing purchases over refinances because so many people have been putting in applications to refinance. So because of the volume, they need more time to do the loans and prioritizing purchases, but they're still asking for 45-day minimum closing period. And she's not the only lender to tell me that. Every lender that I've talked to says at least 45 days. For the refinance, she says 60 days. There's a lot of non-conforming loan programs that are disappearing because they're just too risky right now. Non-conforming loans are like stated income type loans where you're not they're not taking all the information that they would from, it's like a self-employed person might do something like that. They don't take as much information like they do with other types of loans. And one thing that I learned today from Nikki was that I did not know. Okay, let me rewind a little. For those of you that don't live in Hawaii, and we have TMK numbers, and those numbers are assigned to each lot, and that number stays with the lot indefinitely. So just like an address, but before it has an address, it has a TMK number. And so the TMK number precedes the address, and you get an address when you build something normally on a lot. So you can put in the TMK number and find out all the information about the lot before the house was even there. Anyway, so usually you have to, if you're trying to buy a house and then you're trying to buy an adjacent lot, you need to either get 2 loans for those because they're 2 TMKs, or you need to buy the lot in cash, or you buy the house at a increased price to account for the lot, but then the house still has to appraise, right? So that becomes a problem. Anyway, she said that now with conventional, she can finance both properties with 10% down, but the vacant lot should not ever be developed, and it needs to be your primary residence. She also said that with VA, that might be a possibility as well. She said she can't do any Lava Zone 1 loans, and a lot of lenders that I talk with say that. I do know a couple lenders that can do them. So if you're looking for Lava Zone 1, I can help you, guide you to that too. So just let me know. And then we also had Daniel Hartung from Sevco. He's an appraiser, and he gave us some pretty interesting information. He was saying that he's very busy still, but just like everything else, it's taking longer because they are sending a lot of the information to mainland processors, and a lot of them don't understand the intricacies of Hawaii real estate, which is also a problem we see with mainland lenders, which is why I really suggest getting a local lender, because we always have some kind of hiccup with mainland lenders. It's not impossible to work with them, but at the end, it seems like there's always something that they don't understand, and it causes a big problem, and you don't want to be stressed out at the end of your transaction. Anyway, that's my spiel on that. I'll zip it now. But so the same thing's happening in the appraisal world. And oh yes, this is one thing that I do want to talk about. Our appraisals seem like they might be higher than a lot of other states, because sometimes I get clients who are like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. But a normal appraisal cost here is about $650 to $750. So if you're looking and you're gonna get to that part of your transaction, that's kind of what you should expect. And then he was also talking with us about desktop appraisals and drive-by appraisals. So a lot of the appraisers, or not a lot, but some of the appraisers are requesting these drive-by appraisals, so they don't have to go into people's houses because they feel uncomfortable. So what that means is they rely on realtors a lot for the information, pictures, and all of this stuff. So gotta have good photos. And other than that, he says he's going in, he's doing his inspection like normal. He's still wearing a mask and doing hands-off inspections. We talked a bit about permits, because in Hawaii, there are a lot of unpermitted structures here. So that gets interesting. But he says that VA and FHA are getting a little bit more lenient with that, it seems. They will still assign some value, not full value, if there is an unpermitted structure on the property. It has to be, it has to look like it's up to code and have craftsmanship value. That was the word he used. I like that word. Sounds nice. So, and it has to be safe, and the health conditions have to be good. So that was the update from the appraiser. And the other day we had an update, NAR update from Lawrence Yun. He's our NAR chief economist, and so everyone is expecting prices just to drop, and there are so many agents holding back inventory right now because it's really hard to get over here to look at property, and it's nearly impossible. And a lot of our buyers come from the mainland and from off island, so there's not as much inventory as you would think, and so that is keeping the prices very steady. And Lawrence Yun said the same thing about the rest of the states as well, that the prices are just staying steady because there is not a ton of inventory. It is a misconception also that it's a buyer's market right now, and we're not seeing that yet either. Here on the Big Island, it seems like it might be kind of evening out, but I don't know if you would say it's a full-on buyer's market right now. This was something else that was pretty interesting. He doesn't expect widespread foreclosures as long as people are going back to work. So I've been getting that question a lot. And also in Hawaii, it takes so long to do a foreclosure that we probably won't be seeing those for another year or so. So that's not yet. If you're wondering about that, not yet. And maybe not at all, because that's what Lawrence Yun's saying. He did mention that resort condos are probably gonna take a hit because they haven't been able to Airbnb here in Hawaii yet. You can't get a short-term rental right now, and so those guys you might be seeing some deals in that area pop up because they're not getting the income. And as far as sales go, we're pretty in line with what was happening last year, even with all of this going on. I hope I say this woman's name correctly because this was the first time I've met her, but Emilia Carangelo, she's an escrow agent is what I understand, but she hopped on the call today, so we really appreciate that. That was awesome. She also said title work is taking a little more time, especially if a buyer or seller is in another country. One good tip that my mom just mentioned, because she had this happen the other day, was if you are not here in the States or on island even, it might be good to have an attorney or someone you can give power of attorney to make things go a little faster. And because if you're doing financing or anything, you need to have an in-person notary. I saw Florida's doing like virtual notaries, and we can't do that here. So maybe having power of attorney on island would be a good idea. Now, if you're paying cash, she says that everything can be done virtually, but anything with financing has to be in person. And she says they're sanitizing everything before a person comes in and everything after, which is awesome. And then Danny, he's our other buyer's agent. He's really awesome and he's super into running all the stats. So that's really helpful. He keeps us abreast of everything. And he also said that in the last 2 weeks, the mortgage applications have been going up. So he ran the stats for Puna to Hamakua also. And this is for residential and the condo market, not land. But so as expected, we've seen a big drop in newly listed properties, and I will post his graphs if you're on Instagram or Facebook. I'll post the graphs for you, and so you can see that. But if you, yeah, so we saw a big drop in newly listed condos, and sorry, I can't read my handwriting. But basically, the sales have been the same from last year to this year, except for last year there was a drop in the there was a drop in something. Oh, last week there was a drop in sales. Yes, because their sales, the number of closed sales have been relatively stable. But for some reason there was a drop in closings last week, and it's possible that is because of the time it's taking everybody from start to finish, where normally it takes like 30 to 45 days. Now it's taking 45 to 60 days. So we're starting, like the people that started at the beginning of all this are starting to gonna be, I mean, they've taken a little bit longer to close. But just for example, last year at this time there were 144 sales. The list price to sale price was 96%, and days on market 35 days. And sorry, did I say last year? It's this year. So last year was 133, this year 144. Last year's list price to sales was 96%. This year is also 96%. And days on market 37 versus this year 35. So we are still pretty even with last year despite what's going on. He's calling. He says that we're still getting a lot of buyers, but they are being cautiously optimistic. And yeah, I think I like that term, cautiously optimistic, because we need to be cautious, but it's not all doom and gloom like a lot of people are thinking. And the last, oh no, I have 2 more items. Sorry, I'm blabbing on here, but both Lawrence Yun and from what we've been seeing, Lawrence Yun said that when things open up, he really expects to see a big uptick in sales. And I personally have a long list of clients saying that they're gonna come over as soon as this is done with, and some even who are wanting to do sight unseen purchases now. So, and if you want to go that route with something, we can do video for you, FaceTime, all of that kind of stuff. There's virtual tours. We can help you out if you're in that situation where you need to buy something ASAP. Can make it as easy as possible and as stress-free as possible for you. So give us a call too if you're in that predicament. And lastly, I hope this doesn't happen, but I get it if it does. But Governor Ige said he might extend our quarantine till the end of June. So that's not very fun news, but I guess it'll keep us all safe. So that's the weekly update. I kept it under 20 minutes. My goal was 10. I need to learn how to not talk so much. But have a wonderful afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are and whatever time you're watching this. And I will see you next week. I will put Ash's, if you want the full Zoom presentation, I'm gonna put Ash's our marketing manager. I'm gonna put his email in the comments below, or his email is just ash, ASH, at teamnakanishi.com. And you can email him for the link. And if you want to get a hold of me, my email is nui, N-U-I, at teamnakanishi.com. And I'm happy to assist you with any questions or anything that might come up real estate wise, Hawaii real estate wise. Florida too, I'm licensed there too, but you get the point. If you want to contact me, I'm available. And that's it for this week. Have a wonderful afternoon. I said that already, but I'm getting used to this video thing, so bear with me. All right. Aloha.